This was a game that could only be played once. One small mistake meant disaster. At best, a kidney would be destroyed. At worst, death would come instantly. Anyone who tried to run away would be shot on the spot by the guards. But if someone was lucky enough to survive the falling axe, then congratulations. They at least had a chance to leave a complete corpse behind. Even though the game was extremely dangerous, many prisoners were eager to participate, because winning the game granted 100,000 points. Those points could be used to buy cigarettes and fine alcohol. They could also be used to shorten prison sentences. Most importantly, every prisoner here had to eat one candy within 3 days. If they failed to do so, the collar around their neck would kill them instantly. Each candy cost 100,000 points. That was why so many prisoners joined the game. And this boy was the only survivor out of a class of 30 students. As the sole survivor, the police did not ask him about the details of the case. Instead, they directly labeled him as the murderer. The boy knew he had been framed, because he had seen a man in red who was the real killer. He could not understand how things had turned out this way. When he fell into despair, a lawyer told him she would clear his name. He was then taken to court for trial. However, under overwhelming evidence and accusations, the boy was sentenced to death without surprise. He could not believe what was happening. He shouted desperately that he was innocent. At that moment, parents who had lost their children attacked him in grief and rage. During the chaos, a phone fell to the ground. The phone contained a conversation between the boy and the lawyer. It stated that he had killed the entire class. It also said that he was a minor, and that the lawyer could easily help him escape punishment. After that, he was sent to death row land. This was a very special prison. It operated under its own independent system. Prisoners sent here had to risk their lives to perform and entertain. Their suffering generated massive profits to keep the prison running. Every prisoner wore a special collar around their neck. The collar had GPS tracking and electric shock functions. It also displayed a 3-day countdown. When the timer reached 0, the prisoner would die instantly. The only way to extend the time was to eat a special candy from the prison. At one point, a transport prisoner accidentally bumped into the boy and returned the items he had dropped. As a result, that prisoner was immediately killed. That was the rule of this prison. Disobedience meant death. To survive, the boy was forced to do hard labor. When he saw another prisoner welding nearby, he thought of his sweet memories with his childhood friend. At that moment, he wanted to die. Then a white-haired girl appeared before him.
死にたいなら、私が殺してあげる。
She did not actually want to kill him. She wanted him to give up the thought of suicide. Suddenly, a helmet was thrown at him. Other prisoners were unhappy with him. They thought it was unfair that a male prisoner could talk to a girl. The white-haired girl stepped in and pushed them away. The others tried to take revenge, but she dodged their attacks and fought back. Just as the boy tried to stop it, the white-haired girl was struck on the back of the head by another prisoner. At that point, the boy could only endure the beating from the crowd. Meanwhile, the lawyer activated her plan. Bombs above everyone's heads detonated instantly. A massive structure collapsed and crashed toward the crowd. At the moment of near death, the boy awakened his superpower.